Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
University barn fire. Crews are at the scene of NC State's beef education unit. What we know about hay bales that went up in flames.
And a tractor trailer overturned. US 751 in Durham County closed because of a crash. Details of those cleanup efforts underway right now.
And today's a WRAL weather alert day. We have rain moving into our area. Temperatures remain cool. I'll show you what to expect as we get through the day.
And a shooting in Durham. Police are investigating after they say someone was shot at an apartment complex. What we know about the victim's condition this morning. A lot of new updates to get to here on your Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Laura Levine filling in.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Nice to be with you today on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. That's the big story, the weather today, all that rain moving in. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows us where that rain is falling. It's inching closer to Raleigh.
It is. It really has been spreading fairly slowly this morning, but now has arrived in the Triangle and along and north of I-85, along and east of I-95. It's not quite there yet. We give that another hour to 2 hours and you'll start to see it there. Right now, it's fairly light and patchy. We're seeing some showers in Chapel Hill, a little bit of a hole here in the northern part of Wake County and around Durham, but we're seeing some rain in Apex, Holly Springs, Fuquay-Varina, and really almost all of our western counties. We're not looking at a flood threat today, but we will see some significant rainfall, anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches as we get through the next several hours and on through the day. Our rain chances continue to ramp up as we get closer to 10 or 11 o'clock, and then it's going to be pretty steady through the afternoon and into the evening, maybe even a few isolated thunderstorms in our southern counties later on this evening. Take a live look at Chapel Hill. It doesn't look like it's raining too hard. You can see people walking across the street without their raincoats or umbrellas, but you can tell that the streets are wet and people are running their windshield wipers. It is 61 degrees right now, so it's a fairly cool start this morning, and it will stay that way all day. Our high temperatures in the Triangle are only in the low 60s, so just a few degrees above where we are right now. Kelsey Coffey is out in the storm tracker, heading along 540, just between Apex and Holly Springs. Kelsey, what are you seeing out there?
Hey, Elizabeth. So right now we're on 540 and we're seeing a much different sight than what you just saw there in Chapel Hill. We'll go ahead and give you a live look now at road conditions. So right now we are having a little bit of steady rain here. We saw some rain at about 7:45 while we were doing breaking news out on Lake Wheeler Road. So we're headed more into that rain now. We're on our way to the airport. So we'll be sure to keep everyone updated on what they're going to be seeing as they head out for their morning commute. But Chris, what can you tell folks ahead of their morning drive?
And Kelsey, this morning, the main thing we've been tracking is some breaking news on the Durham and Chatham County border of an overturned tractor trailer. The breaking news tracker has been on the scene for about an hour now. That's where we find WRAL's Ali Cadlebar braving the rain out there. Ali, what can you tell us about this crash this morning?
Yes, hi, Chris. We can see a lot of people over the past half hour have been having to reroute and turn around because you can see state troopers over there. They are detouring traffic here because this stretch, it's about a 3.5 mile long stretch all the way to O'Kelly Chapel Road, and that's because of this overturned 18-wheeler. Take a look at this video from Sky 5. You can see the crews trying to flip back over upright this overturned 18-wheeler, causing this stretch to be closed. Now, we know that there were only minor injuries, and this all happened around 3:30 a.m. when the driver veered off of the roadway, flipping over. Now, we know that this is not a hazmat situation, but we do know that it's going to take a few hours. Highway Patrol expects earliest it'll reopen around 9, but latest it could be closed until around 11. So if you take this route NC 751, you may want to reroute, take a different detour on your way. Reporting in Chatham County, Ali Cadlebar, WRAL News.
And Jeff Hogan here in the WRAL Live Center. I want to take you back out to that NC State facility where a fire broke out just a little over a half hour ago. We have Sky 5 on the scene there. By about 7:30, these pictures were coming into the newsroom right here. I want to give you a little more detail as we stay on top of this. Mentioned it off the top that some hay bales had caught on fire there. It brought out a whole bunch of Raleigh Fire Department trucks and firemen there, firefighters. According to police, the bales inside that beef education unit caught on fire. You see it there at the top The fire department quickly was able to put the fire out. No injuries were reported there. As Scott 5 gives us a bunch of different pictures. There's several fire trucks there. The crew's working to keep the hot spots down to a minimum as well. And we're just going to continue to work to figure out what caused that fire there on NC State's beef building.
Jeff, thank you. Breaking news in Durham. Police are investigating a reported shooting near Duke University. This happened around 4 this morning on Mordecai Street. Now, this was the scene from the WRAL breaking news tracker. Officers said that one person was shot and is still alive. WRAL News is working to confirm what led up to this shooting, if arrests have been made, and what potential charges that person could face.
And more breaking news. Raleigh police have 2 people in custody after a report of car break-ins near Lake Lynn. This happened at an apartment complex off Leesville Road around 2 o'clock this morning. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as police investigated. They say at least one vehicle was broken into. Officers who arrived chased 3 people who ran from that scene. They did catch an adult and a teenager. A third person was not caught. The 2 who were arrested are facing charges, including felony breaking and entering.
Happening today, Wake school leaders will discuss changes to a new cell phone policy. The policy would require all cell phones to be silenced and put away. Smartwatches would have to be put on airplane mode, and board members are considering using the word disabled instead of airplane mode. They also want the policy to have different rules for elementary, middle, and high schools.
And today we'll learn more about who will get a seat at the table when discussing Durham Schools budget. District Superintendent Anthony Lewis and the Durham Association of Educators will hold a news conference at 5:30 this evening. They'll answer questions about the newly approved Meet and Confer policy. The educators pushed for the policy to give teachers and school staff a say in district spending.
Nearly 30 people are in the hospital this morning, including 4 children, after police in Liverpool say a driver plowed into a crowd. We want to warn you that some of these images are graphic. Tens of thousands of people lined the streets to celebrate the Liverpool Football Club's championship win. A black van veered into the crowds of pedestrians, running over several people. Police surrounded that vehicle as angry fans attempted to reach the driver. Officers arrested a 53-year-old British man. Investigators do not believe that this was an act of terrorism.
Authorities in Vance County say a 17-year-old was caught carrying 3 fully automatic handguns. Henderson police say they searched the teen's car after seeing marijuana inside. That's when they found the guns, one of which they say was stolen. They also found heroin and pills suspected to contain fentanyl. The 17-year-old is facing 9 charges.
Happening today, a group will gather at Holt Street Park in Mebane in opposition to an incoming Buc-ee's location. We have covered this story extensively now. That popular supersized gas station and convenience store is set to be built along Trollingwood-Hoffield Road. That's off of Interstate 40. Now, a group called the 7 Directions of Service will share a new report this morning about the environmental, economic, and health impacts of the gas station. The group is indigenous-led and works to protect area considered the ancestral home of North Carolina-based tribes. The news conference gets started at 9 a.m. Mebane Mayor Ed Hook says that the Buc-ee's location could open by early 2027.
Today marks 1 year since a family was killed in a crash in Garner. Tyler, Susan, and Miles Campbell were hit and killed on Memorial Day last year at US 70 and New Rand Road. Family and friends held a vigil last night. The young family made an impact on so many, and their loved ones are fighting to share important lessons from their death.
I'm on a mission. This has got to stop. It's got to stop. We got to stop these impaired drivers from killing other innocent people. Nobody deserves to die on these highways.
Police say Jordan Porter was drunk and high when he ran a red light and hit the Campbell's car. He pleaded guilty to reckless driving, speeding, and running a red light. He has yet to stand trial on 3 counts of second-degree murder.
Love and loss. Those are the feelings shared by a Moore County family on Memorial Day. Army specialist Christopher Harris was killed in action in Afghanistan back in 2017. That's a week after finding out that he'd become a father. As a Gold Star family, Christopher's mother asks everyone to keep memories of fallen heroes like her son alive.
Never dream it's going to be your child, and I know every parent thinks that.
His now 7-year-old daughter, Christian, knows about her dad through the memories shared by her mom and grandmother. Christian and her mother visit Chris's gravesite every year as a reminder of his sacrifice. Widow Britt Harris shared this message you see on your screen here. Our support system is incredibly loving, empathetic, and caring, and I am confident that his memory will never fade thanks to our amazing community of friends and family.
The Carolina Hurricanes are keeping hope alive in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They avoided elimination with a 3-0 win in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final against the Florida Panthers last night. It's the first time the Canes have won an Eastern Conference Final game since 2006, ending a 15-game losing streak. The Canes need to keep winning to stay alive in the playoffs. They still need to win 3 in a row to advance past this round. Canes fans are hoping for the best.
To win again, obviously, but or even at least make a few goals and, at least make the Canes fans proud.
Game 5 is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at Lenovo Center. And after the game, everything you need to know will be on Canes exclusive post-game live. Our expert team of analysis will break down every key moment. That's at 11:25 tomorrow night on WRAL.
Apparent boat explosion. Authorities in Florida say 11 people were taken to the hospital. What we're learning about that scary situation in Fort Lauderdale.
Plus, tackling job shortages. The Secretary of Transportation has announced new incentives to keep air traffic controllers on the job. We'll break down the efforts amid the ongoing struggles.
And today is a WRAL weather alert day. We have rain starting to push into the triangle right now. I'll walk you through the timeline for rain for the rest of the day. 8:14. Today's a WRAL weather alert day. We have rain moving into the viewing area right now. Around the triangle, starting to push almost to the I-95 corridor. We're going to see rain on and off for the rest of the day. It's likely to pick up in intensity around and after lunchtime, but definitely seeing some showers right now in Chapel Hill. Rain's about to push into Durham. The western part of Wake County seeing some showers, and it continues to move eastward across our area. We'll take a look at some of the cameras. In Wilson, of course, the rain's not quite there yet. It is 60 degrees, and Durham, some light showers starting 61, and Fayetteville at 61 as well. We take a live look at downtown, we're taking a look toward the Garner Tower, and we've got water on the camera lens here, so definitely starting to see some wetter conditions as you're heading out. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, 54 in Roxborough, 59 Cary and Garner. It's 61 right now in Durham, so cool and wet out there. You can see 100% chance of rain right around lunchtime through the evening commute, so it is likely to be a messy and cool day for us. Chris?
Elizabeth, breaking news into the WRAL traffic center. I-40 westbound at Clayton Bypass. There's a crash that's got 3 of the 6 lanes blocked. In fact, I've got a camera on it right now. This is I-40 at White Oak, and you can see off in the distance where there's that blockage that's going on and causing some significant delays. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. In the meantime, we do have Storm Tracker out on the road that's keeping an eye on the conditions. Last check, they were in Holly Springs. You see the windshield wipers going back and forth, something that you guys may find happening where you are. Just remember, if the windshield wipers are on, your headlights have got to be on as well. Your full traffic report, along with some ways to get around this mess, that's coming up in less than 5 minutes.
All right, thanks, Chris. 2 people are dead, 9 others hurt after a mass shooting in Philadelphia. Police say the gunfire started in a park about 10:30 last night. A man and a woman were killed. 3 teenagers are among the people who were hurt. It is unclear how it started or how many shooters were involved. No arrests have been made.
11 people were hurt after a boat explosion in Florida. This happened at the Lauderdale Yacht Club. Witnesses say that the boat was at a sandbar when this blast happened. They describe a large fireball coming off of the boat. It's unclear what triggered the explosion. All 11 people, including 2 children, were taken to the hospital. No word yet on their conditions.
170 trucks filled with medicine, medical supplies, and food have crossed into the Gaza Strip. That's according to the Israeli military. Israel says the trucks belong to the United Nations and other aid organizations. Israel has faced massive pressure from its allies and other global forces to allow aid into the region, as health experts warn famine is imminent in Gaza. The country began letting in some aid last week after an almost 3-month blockade.
The Transportation Department is trying to keep air traffic controllers on the job longer. Secretary Sean Duffy announcing a 20% bonus for controllers who are eligible for retirement. The incentive is meant to keep experienced air traffic controllers on the job while more are hired. And Duffy says it could take months or even years to fix the air traffic control shortage.
A pattern unique to the Carolinas is keeping us about 20 degrees below normal. Today, you'll feel it when you walk out the door. Meteorologist Chris Michaels explains cold air damming and why it's unique to our area on today's Ask the Meteorologist.
It is, especially because of the Appalachian Mountains, and this is something that we studied a lot at NC State under Dr. Gary Lackman. You've got high pressure to the northeast, and that northeast breeze keeps the cold air and the moist air just kind of locked in at the surface. But then you start to see how that happens. You get the air that's rising up the mountains, and it creates this dome of that gray, gloomy overcast. You've got that, the cool air that's trapped, and then eventually, like what we have right now, moisture that's running over it. So you get these episodes of rain, drizzle, fog, and in the winter, you can get that icy mix. Now, obviously today, we're not tracking that, but it is a very cool rain out there. In fact, a little bit of perspective for you on just how cool today is compared to what we might typically expect. As Michelle was saying, 15 to 20 degrees below average, but 64 degrees, that's the average high for May in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Crazy stuff there. Eventually, we'll get back to the 80s, and we're showing you when. On this week's Ask the Meteorologist, you can go into our weather app, search weather news, and scroll just like that. And Elizabeth back with when we see a break in this cold air damming pattern.
Nova Scotia. Okay, thanks, Chris. Friends of Smithfield Town Councilman here, Marlon Lee, well, they're reflecting on his life after his sudden death. They say he was a champion for his community. Lee died over the weekend from medical complications. The St. Augustine's graduate was also a member of the 1997 CIAA championship basketball team. In recent years, he coached the girls basketball team at Clayton High School.
He didn't just talk about the change he wanted to see. He actually was that change and lived that change.
Now, family members are planning a balloon release tomorrow to celebrate his life and legacy. You can find those details on WRAL.com.
People across the Triangle spent the Memorial Day holiday remembering our fallen service members. Several services were held across the area to honor those who served and protected our freedom. Retired Air Force Colonel Jerome Williams was the keynote speaker at a service at Lake Benson Park in Garner. He reflected on the day's true meaning.
On Memorial Day, we continue to remember those who gave their life in the service of this country, this nation, and we continue to strive to be worthy of their sacrifice.
And some people visited the Garner Veterans Memorial in the park to reflect after that ceremony.
All right, now it's time to get another check on the forecast. And Elizabeth, I love how you guys describe it, right? It's feeling like fall in the middle of the end of spring, that is.
It's almost June. You know, we get into the weekend. It's crazy. So, yeah, these cool temperatures, high temperatures are going to only be in the low to mid 60s. We have rain that started to roll in. Today is a WRAL weather alert day. That rain's mainly been from the Triangle area northward over the last couple of hours. So Fayetteville's still dry. We're starting to see some of that rain fill in over downtown Raleigh. That's a look at North Hills. Definitely wet in Chapel Hill. The rain has arrived there. Windshield wipers going. You can see wet streets. And same thing in Apex. So windshield wipers, some damp streets there. The rain today isn't likely to be terribly heavy for the most part. There may be some pockets later today where it's a little on the heavier side, especially down to the south. But right now it's fairly patchy until you get up closer to the Virginia line. It's a little steadier there along and north of I-85. But some scattered rain just pushing into Durham. We're starting to see it kind of moving into downtown Raleigh, Fuquay Varina, Apex seeing some rain, definitely Chapel Hill. So this will continue all day long. It may be on and off. There's 10 o'clock this morning. Notice it's still a little bit dry to the south and east until closer to lunchtime. And then waves of rain with us for the rest of the day. Some pockets here and there where it might be slightly heavier, and there could be an isolated thunderstorm in our southern counties later this afternoon. 100% chance of rain today. Notice how it continues overnight, an 80% chance, and then 70% chance tomorrow. It'll feel a little different. Most of it will be afternoon and evening thunderstorms tomorrow. And just to our south, there's a level 1 risk for severe storms. Well, see if that lifts north into our area. It's a little quieter Thursday, but Friday we're looking at a 60% chance of rain. So for the next 4 days, we definitely have at least a chance. Today, likely to be most of it, around an inch or so, about half an inch on Wednesday and half an inch on Friday. So all total, we could end up with some widespread 2-inch rainfall totals between now and Friday. So because of that, today is a WRAL weather alert day. The rain continues through the evening commute, making for some really messy conditions. We do climb back closer to normal Thursday, Friday, and then finally Saturday and Sunday we start to dry out. Chris?
Elizabeth, at 8:22 following this breaking news, this is I-40 westbound at Clayton Bypass, and you can see off in the distance a crash that's blocking 3 lanes there on Interstate 40. This is looking at it from White Oak Road. Folks are getting by, but it is kind of a big impact. So if you're trying to get into the capital city, let's show you a few different detours you can take. 42 is probably the best place to go. You connect to Clayton and then up to Auburn through there. You could even try and get toward 42 and I-540. At that point, you're getting closer to Rand Road and Buffalo Road in Garner. So again, we're keeping an eye on that. In addition to the delay times it's causing, heading into the capital city, it's causing a half-hour delay. Other delays look to be pretty minimal so far this morning.
Chris, thank you. Reported break-ins, cars at a Raleigh apartment complex targeted by thieves early this morning. The arrest police have made already.
And cell phone restrictions. Today, leaders with Wake County Schools ironing out details for the district's new policy. The specifics about enforcement they're trying to work out.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Grab the umbrella if you're heading out the door. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tells us how long this rain is going to last.
It's going to be with us all day today into tonight, and really for the next several days, we're going to have at least a chance of rain. It is starting to affect the morning commute just a little bit, especially around the triangle. The rain is patchy and mainly fairly light, but it is definitely moving into the region right now. Temperatures are cool as well. This is a live look at Chapel Hill. You can see the wet conditions here. Our chance of rain goes up as we get closer to lunchtime and stays at 100% through the evening commute. Temperatures today will hold in the low to mid 60s. Chris?
Elizabeth, breaking news into the WRAL traffic center. A crash that's blocking 3 lanes of I-40 westbound at Clayton Bypass. You can see the folks that are coming onto I-40 seem to be not having a hard time getting past, but those that have been on I-40 previously, it's tough to get past that crash as there's several lanes that are blocked. You may want to try and take the exit toward Cornwallis Road. That is probably your best bet to get around this crash. We'll show you some of the other drive times and how they're affected heading into the capital city. That's over on Fox 50 in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Chris. Crews are on the scene of an overturned tractor trailer in Durham. This is a look at Sky 5 over Highway 751 near O'Kelly Chapel Road. The crash happened around 3:30 this morning when the truck ran off the road. There are only minor injuries, and the road is expected to stay closed for the next few hours. And authorities are investigating the cause of a fire at NC State's Beef Education Unit this morning. This is a look at the facility near Lake Wheeler Road in Raleigh. The fire has been put out. Nobody was hurt. Officials say hay bales ended up catching fire, but they are working to find out the cause. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic over on Fox 50.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 8:30, we are following several breaking stories this hour. A tractor trailer crash is causing backups on a Triangle Road.
And also breaking, crews respond to a fire at an NC State building. What WRAL crews have learned at that scene.
And today's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. A warm front edges closer to us, spreading rain across our area. I'll show you the timeline as we get through the day.
Welcome in to Fox 50 at 8:30. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Laura Levine filling in this morning on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. We're already seeing some light showers, the clouds moving in. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. And Elizabeth, those showers moving in right now.
Here's a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar, and the rain is moving in from the west. It's been pretty patchy from the Triangle area southward, but up closer to the Virginia line, it's been a little steadier, especially along and north of I-85. It will be with us all day, so we'll continue to see waves of rain developing, possibly even an isolated thunderstorm down to the south. We have wet streets in Chapel Hill. The rain starting to fill in around Durham. Just some scattered rain in Wake County, especially south and west of the Triangle. But again, this is going to be with us all day long. It'll be scattered, though, so our flood risk is low. We could see anywhere from 3/4 to 1.5 inches of rain. And of course, we'll continue to see that moving through the area as we head through the day. The best chance of rain comes a little closer to lunchtime and continues through the evening commute. Of course, we do have some wet conditions out there. This is a live look at Apex right now. Temperatures at 61, but we probably won't get too much warmer than that. Take a look at our temperatures at lunchtime, 62, and we'll see a high around 64 degrees. So it's cool, damp, and chilly today. Just north of Morrisville is where Kelsey Coffey is in the storm tracker right now. Kelsey, it looks like you're about to move into some wet conditions.
Yes, Elizabeth, we are. We'll give you a live look now at 40 West. We just passed the airport exit. It looks like we're coming up on the Page Road exit right now. You can see we have a little bit of traffic here, just normal morning congestion that we're seeing right now. But as far as rain during your morning commute, we've seen some steady rain really since 7:45 this morning while we were out on Lake Wheeler Road in Raleigh. That's when we started to see that rain coming down, and it's been pretty consistent since then. So just be careful if you're headed out in your morning drive. Give yourself a little bit of extra time and slow down. But we have Chris Michaels standing by in the WRAL Traffic Center. Chris, what can you tell folks before they head out the door?
Kelsey, good morning. We've got breaking news out of the traffic center this morning. A crash on I-40 westbound by Clayton Bypass. And you can see your best alternate route is probably going to be taking Cornwallis Road or trying to head toward 540 to get back into the capital city. I'll give you a live look of the scene right now from the NCDOT camera. And you see off in the distance, reportedly 3 lanes blocked. The on-ramp is coming on just fine, but those of us who have already been traveling 40 having a hard time getting past that. In fact, it's causing about a half-hour delay from that portion of Wake County to come into the capital city. About a 7-minute delay from Apex on US 1, about a 5-minute delay from Wake Forest on US 1. But the other breaking news we've been tracking is right on the Durham-Chatham County line of an overturned tractor trailer. Our breaking news tracker has been there for the past hour and a half, and that's where we find WRAL's Allie Cadlebar. Any updates so far this morning, Allie?
Well, just in the past 5 minutes, we've actually seen a utility truck head that way in the direction of the crash. We aren't sure if it's related to this accident, but we do know that we saw it, and we can see that Highway Patrol, they are still blocking this stretch. It's about a 3.5-mile stretch all the way from New Hope Church Road to O'Kelly Chapel Road, and that's where we find that overturned 18-wheeler. So take a look at this video from Sky 5. You can see crews trying to flip that overturned 18-wheeler upright. Now, this happened around 3:30 a.m. when a driver veered off the road and overturned the 18-wheeler, the tractor trailer there. This is not a hazmat situation, and luckily there were only minor injuries, but it is causing this stretch to be closed ever since 3:30 a.m. So it's been closed for the past few hours, and they expect it to reopen at earliest around 9 a.m. So in the next few minutes, not looking like that is likely, but it could be. We'll keep you guys updated throughout the morning. Reporting in Chatham County, Allie Cadlebar, WRAL News.
Sky 5 is certainly super busy this morning. As we bring you back here in the WRAL Live Center, I want to take you out to the pictures that Sky 5 got from Lake Wheeler Road. This is an NC State facility where a fire broke out there at the Beef Education Unit. Raleigh Fire Department responded to this just about an hour ago right there at that NC State facility on Lake Wheeler Road there. According to police there, the hay bales inside that building caught on fire, so the fire department was able to quickly put them out. There were no injuries reported there, but a lot of fire trucks, a lot of presence there to keep the hot spots down there as well. Working to figure out what caused the fire, but we do know that just like mulch, if hay is stored in an enclosed area like that, and when they put it in there, if it's damp or wet, it can spontaneously combust. So we'll look into that as a cause.
Jeff, thank you. Breaking news in Durham now. Police now say 2 people were injured in a shooting near Duke University. This happened around 4 this morning in the 3300 block of Mordecai Street. Now, this was a scene from the WRAL breaking news tracker. Officers say both men were sitting outside an apartment when someone shot them. The victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
And happening today, Wake County school leaders will discuss changes to a new cell phone policy. The policy would require all cell phones to be silenced and put away. Smartwatches would have to be put on airplane mode. Board members are considering using the word disabled instead of airplane mode. They also want the policy to have different rules for elementary, middle, and high schools. And the Wake Schools Budget and Finance Committee is also expected to discuss funding for the upcoming year. Wake Schools could approve an interim budget by June 24th, which would be continuing on the same budget as this year. That meeting begins at 3 o'clock.
The Carolina Hurricanes lived to fight another day in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They avoided elimination with a 3-0 win in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final against the Florida Panthers. It's the first time the Canes have won an Eastern Conference Final game since 2006, ending a 15-game losing streak. The uphill fight isn't over for the Canes, though. They need to win 3 more games in a row to get to the next round. Another loss to Florida, and it's a wrap. Fans we spoke with say that they still have hope.
Listen, not many teams can do the reverse sweep, but if any team can, we're deep enough to do it. So I have faith.
All right, we'll see. The Canes still will try to keep that faith alive tomorrow night in Game 5. Puck drops at a Lenovo Center. That's happening at 8 p.m. And then after the game, we'll have exclusive insight and expert analysis on Canes' exclusive post-game live. That's at 11:25 tomorrow night on WRAL.
Nearly 30 people are in the hospital, including 4 children, after police in Liverpool say a driver plowed into the crowd. These are the images here. They are graphic. Tens of thousands of people line the streets to celebrate the Liverpool Football Club's championship win. Out of nowhere, a black van veered into crowds of pedestrians, running over several people. Police surrounded the vehicle as angry fans attempted to reach that driver. Officers did arrest a 53-year-old British man. Investigators do not think this was an act of terrorism. And Nashville police say a driver crashed during a chase. This all played out near 64 Alternate and Corbett Road in Nash County. Police say they were attempting to stop the car when the driver, 27-year-old Quentin Gibbs of Greensboro, led officers on a chase. Photos from the scene show his overturned car. Gibbs was taken to the hospital after that crash. We are working to find out why police tried to stop the driver.
A manhunt is underway for an ex-police chief serving decades in prison for murder and rape. Grant Harden escaped a prison in Arkansas Sunday. The Department of Corrections says video shows him wearing a DOC-style uniform, pulling a dolly through a door. Officials are now investigating how Harden got those materials and if he had help. Convicted Congressman George Santos says that he will not seek a presidential pardon. The New York Republican announced his decision on social media, saying in part, "I've accepted my fate and don't want to talk about it anymore." In April, a judge sentenced him to more than 7 years in prison. Santos pleaded guilty to charges of committing wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. He also agreed to restitution and a forfeiture totaling nearly $580,000.
Happening now in the WR Live Center, Russia says the U.S. is participating with them in a prisoner exchange. Now, President Trump and President Putin, NBC News is reporting that Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made this announcement without many further details, saying that President Trump and Putin have gotten together. They're going to exchange prisoners. All this comes, as we know, as Trump is blasting Putin over the strikes happening in Ukraine. So the U.S. State Department has not commented if the deal is confirmed by the State Department, and this all happens. It'll be the first exchange since American teacher Mark Fogel returned to the U.S. after he spent 3.5 years in a prison there for a minor medical cannabis detainment there.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Memorial Day events across the area focused on those who died to protect freedom for Americans. The annual Cary Memorial Day event honored the land of the free because of the brave. Some in attendance had friends who served and died in combat. Others say while their loved ones survived wars, they wanted to attend the ceremony because others could not be here.
It's really easy to forget that somebody laid down their life, the ultimate sacrifice. They shed their blood. And I get to be here with my family, safe and sound.
The American Legion Post 67 in Cary organized the event. Residents also remember the 16 members of the post who died within the last year. Covering Durham, the Board of Commissioners scheduled to hold its regular meeting tonight. County commissioners are asking residents to complete the annual survey to share and determine the needs of the community. Right now, there appears to be more emphasis on more funding for EMS workers. Some residents say there's a shortage of workers because of underfunding.
Targeted text scams. Text scams are getting more specific, using details about you collected online to trick you. 5 on Your Side shows you how these scams work and the steps you can take to protect yourself and your information.
And summer sleep schedule. As children take a break from school, some parents may let their kids stay up later than usual. A sleep specialist explains why that might not be such a good idea. And we are waking up to unseasonably low temperatures on this WRAL weather alert day. Look at that, cloud cover and rain as well. Elizabeth Gardner has the timeline for widespread showers next.
A 45 dual Doppler 5000 radar showing just some scattered rain across our area. It's mainly light. It's steadiest from Durham northward along the I-85 corridor and north, but we have plenty of rain in our forecast as we get through the day today. Some showers in Durham right now, as well as right here in the middle of Wake County, also up toward the Virginia line and a few of those farther to the south. Just a little bit wet here, just damp as we take a look at our Jimmy V camera down through Fayetteville Street. Our temperatures, of course, are cool this morning. Sanford's camera definitely has some raindrops on it. We've had some scattered showers and rain falling currently in Sanford. 61 in Durham, 54 in Roxborough, 58 in Garner, 58 in Cary. So it's cool and it's damp out there this morning. And our rain chances just continue to go up as we get closer to lunchtime with 100% chance. And that will continue into the evening. As a matter of fact, we have several more days this week with rain in our forecast. I'll show you coming up. Chris?
Elizabeth, this morning in the WRAL Traffic Center, we've just learned that 4 out of the 6 lanes are closed on I-40 westbound. This is by the Clayton bypass, and it's projected to be closed up until about 10 o'clock this morning. I'll give you a live look of what the scene is looking like. So you can see those of us on the on-ramp are starting to have a little bit of trouble getting onto I-40, but those of us behind that NCDOT marker are really just kind of at a standstill so far this morning, and it's causing some major delays coming into the capital city, about a half-hour delay. Meanwhile, since early this morning, we've been following this crash on the Durham County and Chatham County line. It's an overturned tractor trailer, and we had video of that from Sky 5 earlier in the morning prior to when the rain started pushing through. It's an overturned tractor trailer with minor injuries. That also is reportedly closed until about 10 o'clock this morning. We'll work for you on some workarounds of some of these crashes coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Chris. Fluoride was first introduced to drinking water in the late 40s as a way to prevent cavities. Since then, about 2/3 of the U.S. has access to this type of water. But now a number of legislative officials are advocating against fluoride being added to water. But as Ted Linder reports, dentists say it could jeopardize millions of people's oral health, especially growing children.
As added fluoride in drinking water continues gaining flack among some politicians, dentists are pushing back, warning that removing the mineral could have negative consequences for millions. Back in April, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said he was planning to tell the CDC to stop recommending fluoride in drinking water nationwide, claiming it's linked to arthritis, thyroid disease, and more.
The data that they have is flawed.
The CDC recommends about 0.7 milligrams of added fluoride per liter of water. A report last year from the National Toxicology Program revealed drinking water with more than twice that amount was associated with lower IQs in kids.
There are no studies that show any negative effects when it's optimally done.
Recently, Florida joined Utah in becoming the second state to ban local governments from adding fluoride to their water.
Yes, use fluoride for your teeth, that's fine. But forcing it into the water supply is basically forced medication on people.
While dentists say fluoride in toothpaste can strengthen tooth enamel and prevent cavities, many say ingesting fluoride that's in water has added benefits over time.
It helps teeth before they form. So as the body's making teeth, the fluoride helps toughen up the tooth enamel, so when the tooth comes in the mouth, it's stronger.
And preventing cavities is key to warding off potentially life-threatening tooth decay.
For many children, summer break is just around the corner, and some parents may consider letting their children stay up later than usual. But is that a good idea? One sleep specialist says it's okay to have some flexibility, but ultimately it's best to keep a consistent bedtime. That's because lack of appropriate sleep can affect their mood, behavior, even performance.
A little relaxation in the summer is totally fine and warranted for all the hard work that your kid's been doing all year at school. But on the other hand, if you're noticing bedtime slip a lot later, like more than an hour later, then that's a little concerning. Because especially whenever summer's about to end, you have to shift backwards.
Yes, and he says in some cases it can take children weeks or months to readjust to their sleep schedule. Experts also advise parents to be more mindful of screen time before bed, as blue light exposure has been shown to disrupt sleep cycles.
As summer travel season gets in full swing, it's important to remember to protect your private information while you're on the road or abroad. Internet security experts say free and public Wi-Fi, whether it's at cafes, hotels, or airports, can really pose a serious risk. One thing to look out for: evil twin Wi-Fi scams. Those are fake networks made to look like real ones.
It's actually run by somebody who could be very nearby, trying deliberately to intercept your data. Passwords, logins, they could even hack into your computer.
And there are some things to keep in mind when you're traveling. Always proceed with caution if it's easy to connect to the system. Even if the Wi-Fi is free, most places will still ask for a password. You should also make sure you are browsing secure sites and avoid logging into any sensitive accounts like your bank account.
Good tips. All right, today is a WRAL weather alert day. Elizabeth, we're already seeing some showers move through, clouds all over the viewing area, but that alert day is specifically for this evening, right?
It really is. We're going to see the biggest impact this evening as the rain continues to move into the area. It's likely to be more widespread as we get through the afternoon and have some bigger impacts on the evening commute. We definitely have some scattered showers across our area. More of that to come. Back to the west, we're seeing some showers here in parts of Harnett County and in the western and central parts of Wake County as well. So showers will continue to move in from the west as we head through the day. It's mostly going to be light to steady, nothing terribly heavy, except the potential for some thunderstorms in the south later on this afternoon. Here's a look at the big picture. That warm front's moving closer to us, but we're on the cool side of that front today, so our temperatures will stay in the low to mid 60s in the triangle. Futurecast showing the waves of rain moving through. Notice at lunchtime, it's still fairly patchy, but once we get past lunchtime, it really starts to fill in. It becomes steadier and a little heavier there during the evening commute. Notice the pockets there of yellow. Could be a few isolated thunderstorms that pop up. We'll continue to have a chance of rain tonight and into the day tomorrow, even a small chance Thursday and again on Friday. So we're in a wet pattern for a while. You can see down Salem Street here in Apex that it is wet currently. It's also cool. 61 is our temperature. We have rain officially falling at RDU right now. So you can see the rainfall icon. It's 54 in Roxborough, 59 in South Hill, still 50s in Southern Pines and Goldsboro, but elsewhere low 60s right now around the Triangle, 57 in Holly Springs, 58 in Garner, as well as Knightdale and in Wake Forest. So it's chilly out there. We'll stay coolest in the low 60s in the north, but we could get closer to 70 in Fayetteville and Clinton later this afternoon. Officially, our high temperature yesterday at RDU was 70, but it happened pretty early in the day. All right, so it's cool out there. It's going to feel more like mid-November or mid-March. That's when we have our normal high in the mid-60s. Normal high for today, though, is 82 in the Triangle and 84 in Fayetteville. So these temperatures obviously well below normal. It is a WRAL weather alert day, especially for the impacts for the evening commute. We start to warm up a little bit tomorrow, but then closer to normal by Thursday and Friday, and a little drier for the weekend. Chris?
And starting with breaking news this morning in the traffic center, this is I-40 at White Oak Road, where previously there had been about 4 lanes reported closed due to a crash there at Clayton Bypass. But it does look as though things are starting to move off toward the side and some travel is starting to get through pretty smoothly. We'll follow up on updates on that coming up in a little bit. That's the main kind of trouble spot heading into Raleigh, and the delay time previously had been about a half hour. We'll let you know if that changed in the 9 o'clock hour.
All right, thank you, Chris. We'll get another look at traffic and weather after the break.